What's up everyone, V here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Black Series, Ahsoka Tano. This one specifically from Star Wars The Mandalorian, as it says right there. Does anyone actually say Star Wars The Mandalorian? I think people just call it The Mandalorian. It's really strange seeing it worded as Star Wars The Mandalorian, but I guess you can call it that. But yeah, this is of course Ahsoka as she appears in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, and the Ahsoka show. She really has one outfit, and it's this. But this figure specifically, like the box says, is from The Mandalorian. This is also the first release of this figure. It's been released multiple times now. I know it's in a 2-pack with Mando. She has the cloak in that one. I know it's being re-released in the Ahsoka wave, despite the fact that this is slightly inaccurate, and I'll explain later. And it's being released again in a 2-pack in Ahsoka, carbonized with a droid. I think it also has a credit collection figure. That's the only one I found in stores of this, in like normal stores like Target and all that. But I got this at a comic shop because that's where I have to rely on finding Black Series, because trying to find a Black Series figure at like Target and Walmart is impossible unless you're really wanting a Lando figure. In that case, you're gonna have a field day. I kid you not, once I walked into a Walmart, had 3 different Black Series Landos and a vintage collection Lando. So if you're a Lando fan, you're gonna be having a field day in the Star Wars section. But if you are like me and are interested in any other era besides the original trilogy, and specifically Lando, then you're going to have a miserable time. I mean, nothing against Lando, but I have no urge to ever want to buy a Lando figure. But yeah, yeah, she does appear like this in Ahsoka, as I said, but she does have a cloak. And spoiler alert for Ahsoka, I will be probably talking about it, because that show, I have warned you, is amazing. It is my favorite piece of Star Wars media that Disney has dropped. I kid you not, especially after Episode 4. Again, spoiler alert. This is the last warning. I'm going to drop some major spoilers now. Okay, you've been warned. I'm going to drop it now. Anakin showing up in the end of that, oh my god, I literally had tears in my eyes. That's like No Way Home Andrew Garfield level moment. Endgame level moment for me seeing Hayden Christensen back. But like, it's different than it was in Kenobi, because Kenobi, that was a flashback. This is full on Anakin showing up, and it made me lose my mind. This is, like I said, the best piece of Star Wars media since Mando Season 2. And the best piece of Star Wars media, I believe, has released in Disney Star Wars. And that's saying something, because I'm a passionate fan of Rogue One. But yeah, I love it so much, and I will no longer tolerate Dave Filoni slander. I tolerated it after the Bad Batch and Mando Season 3 and Bad Batch Season 2, because those weren't as strong as their previous seasons, but Ahsoka really just proved that he is the perfect man to be making Star Wars. But yeah, little Ahsoka review, hyped for the next episode. If the leaks are true, it's going to be insane. Apparently it's being played in theaters, which would be way better than my horrifically small and crappy TV that I've had for years that sits in my bedroom. But yeah. And how about we get back to the figure at hand? And this figure is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal figure. But before we talk about it, we have to obviously talk about the package. And this was released, of course, before the windowless packages. And the next Ahsoka figure will drop with the windowless packages back. So, I don't even think there is an Ahsoka that's released without windowless packages, unless you count the 2-pack. I think that's it. But yeah, this is, of course, Mando. So you got Ahsoka Tano, Star Wars, The Mandalorian, trademark. You got the orangish brown of Mando Black Series, and you can see I paid $32 for this figure. Whew. Yeah, it's pricey. It's not a New Dimension. Their prices are a little extreme, but like, I bought a Kenobi from there, which I will be reviewing soon, and that was only 28. So yeah, this other one's I think it only has one location, which might be why the prices are extreme, but it's a price to pay for a really cool figure, I guess. Nothing on the side. They got that cool as hell artwork. Love that. Love the artwork on Black Series, but that's a pretty good shot of Ahsoka. I like it. On the back, you get that same shot. Little bio: a Clone Wars veteran and now wandering Jedi, Ahsoka Tano forges her own path in the galaxy, righting injustices that she discovers. She's trying not to hiccup while saying that sentence, and I failed miserably. Number 19. So yeah, I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only have 6 figures from Ahsoka. Mando. I said Mando like 50 times this video, and I forgot the name of the show. But yeah, I will be buying a lot of the Ahsoka figures when they drop, because I love the show, and I love a lot of the characters, and I love the character designs. I want them all. Except for maybe the one, Witch Girl. I'm not really too interested. She's kind of like boringly designed. I'm definitely getting, everyone else, except for Ahsoka, because it's literally just a repack of this figure. Accessory-wise, she only comes with her lightsabers, but to be fair, it's Black Series. This isn't Marvel Legends. They're not going to be dropping 50,000 accessories. I say that like Marvel Legends be dropping a lot of accessories, but Black Series drops significantly less. But this is really all you need. You could use the cloak, but they did release a version of that with the cloak. So let's take a look at these sabers, and they're interesting. She has the white lightsabers, and that's kind of hard to do. It's also really hard to see, but yeah. Of course, you have the one that's shorter than the other, and the blades, of course, are removable. And you can, since there's a hook there and a peg there, I know it's kind of out of focus, but it is what it is. And you can hook the lightsabers there. I don't think they're going to hold well. Oh, it's kind of holding decently. Never mind. But yeah, but the lightsaber blades, they look strange, because she has white blades, but of course, it's hard to make a bright white blade out of plastic. So it's just this strange translucent white, milky white, I don't know. A certain suspicious substance for these lightsabers. But hey, the hilts are detailed really well and sculpted really nicely. Got a bit of more detail on this one. If it were to focus, there we go. And of course she can hold it in her hands, because what good is a lightsaber wielding action figure if it can't wield the lightsabers? And she looks really good, if you could see her. My camera's not cooperating with me today. But yeah, some figures, though, suck at holding lightsabers, and I have to ask, how do you fail to design a hand that can hold a lightsaber? It's not that hard. But yeah, they're really cool. But that's, of course, not the main star of the review. Of course, it's Ahsoka. And this figure is really cool. I don't own any of the other Black Series Ahsokas, and I chose this one because it's the easiest to find for me. Water break. I could pause the video, but I choose not to, because I like to keep the staple of these are nowhere near the best reviews on YouTube, and I will keep it that way. There will be no improvement ever in my videos. I will keep the same poor lighting and poor camera quality till the day I die. But anyway, the Rebels Ahsoka figure, I hate the Rebels design. I don't think it looks good, and it doesn't look good at all in the realistic style. I don't want that. And the Clone Wars ones are really difficult to find. Well, there's a new Clone Wars one, but I feel like this is an actual live-action Ahsoka. This is the only actual live-action look for Ahsoka. The rest are, like, adaptations. So I was just like, I'll go with this one. This will be my main Ahsoka. And it's really good. It's a really cool figure. It's got some interesting things about it. But let's just hop right in to this head sculpt, which looks great. Their first... It's not zooming in. It's refusing to zoom in. Oh my god. There we go. This is their first attempt at the likeness of Ahsoka, played by Rosario Dawson. I believe that's how you say her name. I could be butchering it. I most likely am. But yeah, and side note, I think she plays a really good Ahsoka. It's definitely still strange, like, with those, like, live-action Rebels and Ahsoka, because they have different voices now. Because, of course, it's live-action. Unless you're Bo-Katan, you're not played by your animated voice actor. But I think she does a really good Ahsoka, and it's a different version of Ahsoka, as this is, like, Ahsoka a lot older, a lot wiser. Like, this is like her Kenobi. She's, like, now reached the level that Kenobi was at. And she's taken on that path of, I guess you could say, master, since she's training a Padawan. And it's really cool seeing her kind of, like, fill Anakin's shoes and follow those, like, same pitfalls that Anakin had with Ahsoka. Also train. Yeah, there's trains. I live near a train track, so you're going to be hearing a train probably in every single video. It's a staple now. But it's a lot quieter. Never mind. I said it's a lot quieter, and then it was really loud. God dang. I want to say we're good now, but we're probably not, but we're just going to roll with it anyway. But yeah, and the likeness to Rosario Dawson, I think they nailed it first try. Some likenesses they can nail first try, and others, like Chris Hemsworth, they just can never nail. So hopefully that new Chris Hemsworth Thor figure nails some likeness. And hopefully I'm begging that it's product shots of that Sabine figure that just make that face look bad, because it does not look that great. And it breaks my heart because I love Sabine so much. So hopefully it looks better in person, like the Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld likeness. But yeah, they nailed this likeness. I will say, if it looks off, I'm like 90% sure my face printing is slightly askew. There were two Ahsokas, and I grabbed the worst one of the two, because this one also has this giant stain on the shoulder, which I just don't know how it got there, and I cannot remove it. So, yeah. It's always up to me to find the worst version of a figure that exists. I'm still astonished at the battle trap. I found somehow the worst, some factory reject of a figure that was that battle trap, and I'll try to review that soon. But yeah, I'm a little behind because I don't really have time to be making videos. But yeah, I'm rambling again. But yeah, the white marks on her face look really good. And it's just a really solid likeness. You got the little band there. And her tendrils, I don't know what they're called, because I don't be knowing the anatomy of Star Wars characters. But this is, of course, how she appears in Mando. So they're shorter. They're the shorter ones. And they didn't fix it for the Ahsoka figure, because I know in Ahsoka they made them longer because of all the complaints, I think. Or I'm delusional. That could be it too. But it's just a repack, so they didn't change the head sculpt, so surely. If you can get this figure, you basically can... It's the same figure, but different packaging. Although I do prefer the blue on the packaging. But yeah, and got the really well done paint apps for her tendrils. I'm gonna call them tendrils because I don't know what else to call them. And it looks really good. It's just really cool seeing Ahsoka in live action and a live action Ahsoka figure, because I only own like 2 Ahsoka figures, and they're in 3 3/4 inch. But yeah, coming down to her suit, she just has some very plain robed look. But this might be a stretch, but it does give off a lot of hints of Anakin, with like the darker bluish black coming down with like a light brown in the middle, as Anakin has. Yeah, I feel like I'm stretching with that comparison, but you know, if it's intentional, it's pretty cool. And then you got this little whatchamacallit going around belt. Can you tell I be a little dense sometimes in the head? Yeah, and you got a lot of nice little silver details picked out, and the belt is painted brown. It's a little hard to tell because it's very dark. And there are like the back is black, but this is blue. There's a lot of subtle color differences. And here's what the back looks like. Coming down to the arms, you got those like cuts in the arm that Ahsoka's, I think it's Clone Wars had it. I'm not 100% sure. You know, it would have been good to look this information up, but like I said, I don't put out the best quality content. But yeah, he got a lot of nice little wraps. Kind of reminds me of Moon Knight's look. Then got these gauntlets, which are just painted in flat grays. It kind of looks like it's cell shaded, like the one NECA video game Predator. But it come down to her like fingerless gloves, which look really good. Ignoring this and the misprint, everything else is painted beautifully. You got maybe like, I don't know, those comms or something. I don't know. You come down to the back, you got the little strings, which, and this whole belt area is a separate like rubbery piece, so it's not going to get in the way of articulation at all. It's sculpted really well. And you come down to the legs, and the legs are very interesting because they did this with Boba Fett as well. I think she did it first. Where they sculpted this like, because I think her design is also very like inspired by like, I want to say samurai, with like the baggy pants and like the two-toed shoes. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. The only way I double checked was I looked at my samurai Iron Man figure, and it's kind of similar. So I think that's what it's inspired by, which would make sense because like Star Wars is very inspired by like samurais and like westerns. So, and like that one episode where Ahsoka does appear, does give off the samurai, while he gives off the western type vibe for the two fight scenes. But yeah. And they did a thing where, like, they have this come down, but it hides the articulation joint, so it doesn't break up the sculpt, which is really cool. Then, of course, you got more of the nice sculpt. Then come down to her boots. Boots? Those aren't boots, they're armor. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, and it's got that, like, dark gray, light gray type paint. And then, of course, you come down to those two-toed boots, shoes! Why do you keep saying boots? Which I mentioned before. So yeah, she is a really cool and really detailed figure. I feel like I've rambled a lot in this video. But hey, this is how it is. You gotta accept it. I'd be rambling a lot. But yeah, articulation-wise, she has a dumbbell joint at the head, but you're not getting much articulation because of her tendril thingies. I know there's a better name, but I don't know. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but there might be a joint at the bottom of the neck as well. Arm moves out that far, rotates. You do have, oh my god, I did not, oh, did I break the figure? Okay, so it does not move that well. I think I just broke the figure. But yeah, slight butterfly joint. Don't do what I did, but there was a weird thing going on with the, oh wait, it was this shoulder. So, I don't know. Anyway, be careful with that joint, because I guess you can pop it out. Oh, now I'm scared. Yeah, single jointed elbow with rotation, and then a rotation at the hands. And I think both have an up and down. Got a diaphragm joint, which moves back that far, forward that far, rotates and bobs. Legs kick that far forward, that far back, and can do this splits, which is good because, you know, she's a Jedi. She needs to be doing those, like, acrobatic type movements. And at first you might be like, does she not have a thigh rotation? But she does. It's hidden very cleverly because, again, they have a piece of sculpt that goes up there. So it does have that rotation, though sometimes the leg moves, but the joint doesn't because it might be a little stuck. But yeah, they hid the articulation in the legs really well. Single jointed knee with rotation, then an up and down at the foot with a rocker. So she has some really, really solid articulation. And for some comparisons, let's get our normal ones out the way. For a Marvel Legends and Voyager-class Transformers comparison, here she is next to Moon Knight and Siege Shockwave. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, here she is next to a DC McFarlane and a Jazzwares Halo, The Flash, and Master Chief. And for some Star Wars fun, here she is next to Mando. This is the older Mando. There is a new Mando coming out, and I have that pre-ordered. I'm definitely getting that. There's no way I'm going to miss out on that. And Darth Vader, I know they haven't really met in these looks, but they do meet in Rebels, so you can kind of recreate that with these, even though the Rebels figure would make more sense. But yeah, looks really cool. Anakin is really tall. Well, forgot which figure I was reviewing. And For fun, here she is next to Rex. Look great together. And finally, Obi-Wan as he appears in Kenobi, and the archive line Anakin. We'll be reviewing him. I might do like because I got the Anakin loose, so I might do like a big video where I just review a bunch of the loose figures I got. But yeah, they look great. Then bringing in Rex in. Oh, we just need a new Cody and it'd be great. But yeah, oh man. Side note, I know it's not gonna happen, but God, I'd kill if Kenobi showed up as well in the next episode of Ahsoka and you could get this trio in live action. It would be so great. I know it's not gonna happen, but just getting these two, when like they went to the World Between Worlds and I heard "Hey Snips," I almost lost it, but I was like, oh, could just be a voice. It did sound like the animated voice actor, but then I heard him say, "It's been a while," and I was like, that's Hayden Christensen. And they turned and you see him. Oh! I literally cried. I rewound it and watched it 3 times. I paused on the picture and I cried tears of joy because, oh my God, we're getting Anakin and Ahsoka in live action together. Oh my God, it's so hype. So hype. But yeah, do I recommend this figure? I honestly do. It's a really fun figure. Is it mind-blowing? No. I think it's a really good adaptation of this Ahsoka design. I'd give it like a solid 7-8 out of 10. There's not really anything holding it back from being phenomenal, but it's not a figure that I'm grabbing. I'm thinking this is the best Black Series figure ever. Unlike a certain other figure, which I will be reviewing soon. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's definitely up there for me, that Kenobi figure. But yeah. But this Ahsoka figure, butchering all the words today, is really awesome, and I do highly recommend buying it if you're a fan of Ahsoka. And if you can get this one cheaper than the Ahsoka release, then go for it. But I heard though that the Mando and Ahsoka 2-pack one, it has the cloak. So if you do want the cloak, and I heard that is the best version of this mold, then I'd say go for that one. But if you're happy with just this, then I'd 100% go for this one. This is a blast of a figure, and I'm probably not... I might get maybe the Clone Wars one that's coming out, but besides that, this is my definitive adult Ahsoka. It's great. So yeah, like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. I'm going to try to do more Black Series, because I've just been on a Black Series binge recently because of Ahsoka. And I got one coming in the mail. If it ever arrives, I'm definitely going to be reviewing it instantly. Spoiler alert. It's 5s. But yeah. Like I said, subscribe, check out previous reviews. Follow my Instagram, MoonandXO. I'm way more active on there, and you can talk to me, get a little sneak peeks for upcoming reviews, and check out my art. So yeah, hope you have a wonderful day, and let's pray to God that nothing bad happens in the next episode of Ahsoka. I know from the leaks that it's gonna break my heart, but could it just be Ahsoka and Anakin just have a nice fun time and it's all sunshine and rainbows, please? I beg of you. Please.